Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Susie Jane Designs. In today's video, I'm pretty excited. I'm participating in a thrift challenge. This challenge is hosted by Jessica from Measure and Mix, one of my absolute faves, and also Heidi. I will link both of their channels down in the description box below, as well as a link to the playlist for all of those that are participating in this challenge. Definitely check them out, guys. I love these challenges because you get to see so many different things, and everyone thinks different. Everyone crafts differently. They come up with different techniques. It's so interesting to me to watch various different people. Anyway, so I started off by going to Goodwill and getting a few items. Some of these items I've already had from Goodwill, but I would definitely recommend check out your local Goodwill and find out when they're having their 50% off day. It is a huge steal if you go in on that particular day. I know it's not always possible for everyone, but definitely check out your Goodwill on those 50% off days, because sometimes there are things in Goodwill that I personally feel like maybe are a little bit overpriced for being a thrifted item. I have heard as well that checking out just your local thrift stores other than Goodwill, you can actually find really good deals. I don't get to get out very often, so checking out my local thrift stores isn't really an option for me, but there's a Goodwill right down the street from my house. So anyway, that's enough rambling for now. So I'm super excited to show you guys what we've got going on today, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell next to it so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. That's it, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into the project. So we have this right here, this lovely piece, extremely dirty. But if you can see that, $8. Next we have this piece, nice wood whitewash kind of thing going on. This one was half off. And down here it tells you this actually originally was from Kohl's. Pie pan. This piece I'm in love with. And this one was 99 cents, but half off. And the next piece are these bookends. Here. I would do a horse impression, but I'm not great at those. And those were $4.99 a piece, but they were half off. And it does have some damage, some nicks, things like that, but it's okay. We're going to take care of it. So first I'm going to start by giving everything a good cleaning with my Mrs. Meyer's multi-purpose cleaner. What is this? Why is the paint coming off? I don't feel like that's right. I wanted to share with you guys a little trick my mama taught me about removing labels off of things. You just take some Dawn dish soap and you rub it all over the label and you let it sit for a couple minutes, and then it literally just washes right off or rubs right off. Today I'm going to be using the Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white. I'm starting with my bookends. Now I will tell you that these were really glossy, so I should have done one of two things. I either should have lightly sanded them to take some of that shine away, or I should have done a layer of Mod Podge and let that dry so that the paint had something to stick to a little bit better, because it was sliding off of this very easily, and I ended up having to do 3 coats of paint to get these completely covered. Once those are dry, you just give them a coat of clear wax to protect them, and they are good to go. Moving on to the next project, I'm taking my E6000 and I'm running a bead all along the top of that candlestick that we picked up from Goodwill. And then I'm actually adding a couple beads of hot glue to that as well before I stick it down onto the pie pan. I just eyeballed finding the center on this, but you could definitely measure it if you want to. Once I had the candlestick in place, I did run a bead of hot glue all around the rim just to give it a little extra security. I didn't record this part, but I did use my orbital sander to sand down as much of this as I could, and then I wiped it clean. Then I'm taking the same Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white, and I actually ended up doing 2 coats on this to make sure that it covered up all of that red that was still left on there. And I gotta tell you, this was a little tedious and time consuming to paint inside every single one of those little boxes. I honestly wasn't too sure at first how I would feel about painting it just white, but once I got to this point, I realized that it was gonna look pretty awesome. So when I got to the door, this wire was a little bit tricky. I didn't want paint to be oozing out all over the place, so I made sure that my brush was more like dry brushing while I was painting on this part of the door. And of course, I repeated the same process on the other side of the door. Of course, I also made sure to paint the top and the sides of this box as well. Once both coats had completely dried, I did actually flip the box over and paint the underside, and the reason I did this is because if the box is up high, I don't want to see any of that red showing through. Once all the paint was dry, I decided I wanted to add feet. So I'm using these medium-sized, just natural wood beads that I got from Michael's. You can get beads like this from Walmart as well. I added E6000 and a little dab of hot glue, and I'm just placing 4 on the bottom to make little feet for the box. So once my feet were good and dry, I decided that this was still a little too pretty for me. So I took a damp rag and I'm just wet distressing to kind of bring out some of that natural wood color in the box. And some of the red shows through a little bit too, and I'm okay with that. So at this point, I felt like the box really was missing something, and I wanted to make kind of like a faux shelf along the top. So I ran some E6000 in a line across the top, and then I'm using those same wood beads but in a smaller size, and a little bit of hot glue, and I'm just gluing those all along the front and both sides of the box.
I actually laid these beads out before I glued them, and when I glued them, apparently I squished them together a little bit closer than when I did my trial run, because I did end up with a little bit of a gap on one corner, but in the end, you couldn't really tell that it was there. And now all of our projects are complete.
All night trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling.
That's it for today's video, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it and seeing the different ways that you can even style an item that you've upcycled or that you've refurbished. There are so many different options, and I just wanted to show you guys that just because you pick up this one thing, it could potentially, work in several different areas of your home. Please don't forget to check out those other channels down in the description box below, as well as that playlist, so that you can see other thrifted challenge videos, because let me tell you, they are some of my favorites. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope that you stick around because there will be some other Trash to Treasure videos coming up pretty soon. Until next time, I'll be seeing you. I will link a That's how words work. Anyway. Car. This always happens to me. And let's try this again and actually record it. Anyway. Oh, my back. Man. Crazy. Okay. Chuck, you're killing me right now. Neighbors. Good guy, good guy. Anyway.